Welcome to the Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday stream. Hold on, folks. There we go. That's much better. How's it going, everybody? Hey, Bread Plays. Hey, Madame Defarge. Let me move over here. Okay, so quick shoutouts. Come on. There we are. Sweet. I'm super grumpy and doomer, so I'll try to keep my mouth shut today. Well. There's no shortage of doominess. Hey KTS, how's it going? Alio coming in hot with the 14 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Morning, everyone. Some quick offline thank yous. Thank you so much, your goddamn dad for the offline follow, and Choma and Pno. No, I'm not sure, but I appreciate all the offline follows. Thank you. All right, so we do have a couple of articles to go through.
Most guys.
Ooh. Alright, let me bring up some of these articles here. Alright, folks. I'm not sure what I expect to see in this video. I believe this was sent by KTS. Let me see here. Alright, let's check this out.
The Pentagon is getting closer to deciding on using robots, literal robots with artificial intelligence to control weapons. They've been conducting more and more tests on this, and apparently those tests have been going smashingly. So they might automate parts of the military, and it sounds disastrous. So General John Murray of the US Army Futures Command told an audience at the US Military Academy last month that swarms of robots will force military planners, policymakers, and and society to think about whether a person should take every decision about using lethal force in new autonomous systems.
Wait.
So the question that General Murray,
I mean, needless to say, there's multiple reasons how this could go horrifyingly wrong, right? If that's true. Oh man.
asked was, is it within a human's ability to pick out which ones have to be engaged and then make 100 individual decisions? Is it even necessary to have a human in the loop? So they're literally deciding or thinking about making a decision to completely automate
Skynet, yeah.
military missions.
Yeah, I mean, like, we had like 5 movies about why this was a bad idea, right? We had an entire movie series and a TV show series as to why this was a bad idea.
Right, because they're like, humans, it's just that, they don't say this, but this is what's being implied. They might have like emotions, and that emotion might play into their human judgment, and then it'll take too long to make those decisions. So wouldn't it be better if we have emotionless robots make decisions about life or death? Doesn't that make a lot more sense?
Yeah, so there's 2 parts to that. One is, sure, sometimes humans do take longer to decide. Sometimes, unfortunately these days, police have gotten past that and they make life or death decisions within 2 seconds flat usually. And sometimes humans make mistakes, that's also true, right? But the other portion of what they're saying is really, and the heart of it is what Anna's talking about. There's an amazing stat from World War I, and now I read it a while back, so I forget if it's 80 or 85%. But let's call it 80. 80% of people in the trenches in World War I shot above their enemies' heads, even though they're being shot at, and they could be killed at any second. Humans don't like killing other humans, and so they would purposely miss, the overwhelming majority of them. So robots are programmed not to miss.
Well, I feel like that was true to certain situations and degrees. I get what he's saying here, but yeah.
Become more efficient killing machines, and the military is in the killing machine business. By the way, the right wing will see this and go, booyah. Okay, good, we'll phase out the humans, we don't have to pay them.
Yep.
Wait, what?
That's a big part of it.
Okay, and then we'll get to murder the other side more efficiently. Well, it depends, doesn't it? If there really are a couple of bad guys and you want to go get them, and okay, but we bomb weddings all the time with what? Smart bombs. They don't sound too smart to me. So yes, some autonomous machines already exist and already execute executions. So for example, we'll do signature strikes from drones. And that what we do is we give the coordinates of a.
Oh, I mean, okay. Again, obviously, the military has been like going in this direction for a long time. So I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if this is like necessarily breaking news. It is disturbing, of course. There's got to be some form, in some way, shape, or form, a human element to this, who makes the final decisions. Or just don't use these things at all. I mean, we like I said, we literally had an entire movie series and TV show series as to why this is a bad idea. Hey, spread it forward. This is truly the darkest timeline. Well,
a cell phone. So whoever has a cell phone, and we don't know, it could be the guy we have decided is a terrorist, and maybe he is, and maybe he isn't. But it could be that guy's mom or his son, which happens all the time.
Didn't like the
and
view.
the so-called smart
Jesus.
bomb targets the cell phone and murders whoever has it.
Can you imagine if we actually had that in 2008? Can you imagine if we had a movement in 2008 where we could have built all the, okay. Apparently Biden just greenlit a new one. Wait, a new wind farm? Yeah, but thanks to the Koch brothers, so much propaganda went out. Oof. Oh, nice. Nice. Hold on, folks. Here's the free version. Let's get the free version. Oh, come on. Oh, good lord. Here. We'll figure this out. 1 second. Do some educational investigations here, okay? Educational investigations. Yeah, we had to do a little bit of a workaround, but that's okay. Interior Department approves first large-scale offshore wind farm in the US. The Vineyard Wind Project envisions 62 turbines off Martha's Vineyard, producing enough electricity to power 400,000 homes. Nice. Thanks for the shout out, of course. Vineyard Wind is the first of several massive offshore wind farm proposals that could put more than 3,000 wind turbines in the Atlantic Ocean from Maine to North Carolina. The Biden administration is committed to the process. It's committed to processing the other 13 projects under federal review by 2025 in an attempt to meet the administration's ambitious goal of producing 30,000 megawatts of electricity from offshore wind by 2030, powering 10 million homes. I mean, yeah, it's a good step forward, yeah. I'm not gonna say it's not bad. This is the goal is part of Biden's administration's effort to fight climate change by shifting away from fossil fuels. I mean, yeah, like, again, this isn't bad necessarily. Liz Cheney got removed. Oh, is this true? Did it happen already? I thought the vote was today. Yeah, this isn't bad. The Biden administration official said that the Vineyard Wind Project will create about 3,600 jobs for American workers. There you go. Cool. Now, can we get like a massive solar panel project, geothermal project, hydroelectric project? Starting with the 60s week, but maybe it's a few enough to ease into the bougie northerners that wind farms aren't that ugly. Yeah, I mean, like, imagine like thinking that your biggest problem is the view. It's not the impending climate crisis, but it's like your view. Okay, dudes.
That's right.
Doesn't seem that smart to me. But now this is a whole different level, like an army of robots and an army of drones, all loaded and programmed to kill without human interaction.
No, it's absolutely crazy. And when it comes to decisions involving life or death, maybe it's okay to take a minute, to take a beat, to think about whether or not the decision that's being made is the right one.
Whoa. Whoa.
apparently an international ban on this type of activity, but don't worry, there are private military contractors who are finding ways to undo that ban. In fact, a report this month from the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence, an advisory group created by Congress, recommended that the US resist calls for an international ban on the development of these autonomous weapons. So I think that there absolutely should be a ban. Having an autonomous
because
like force
but that's
within the military
that's not really a big
so
issue. Just paint them a different color.
That, you know, thinking of it as like a robot using AI pretends as though it does away with any human biases, when in reality, the very people who develop this technology have biases themselves, and that bias is implemented, whether wittingly or unwittingly, into the technology. You know, this is what we've talked about previously in the context of the facial recognition technology, which gets it wrong all the time. The facial recognition technology has ended up accusing innocent black people of crimes they didn't commit. So obviously it's flawed technology. Using it in the context of life and death, using it in the context of war sounds awful and ridiculous, but don't worry, there's already efforts to make sure that this happens.
So number one, I want you to be clear. There are situations where there's somebody in Tampa and they're looking through the video camera of a plane or a drone, and then they press the button. That is not what we're talking about here. We would send these in, and there is no human on the other side pressing a button. We program to kill, and then we let them go in. There's swarms, 10, 20, 100 of them at a time, and they just start killing. There's no human on the other side saying that person, etc. They just, God knows what the program is, right? Oh, you better not send them to the wrong place with the wrong program. And so if it sounds like a movie, it is. That's what it's developing into.
Well, I mean, so in other words, wait.
And then the second.
Wait, so in other words, like obviously there will be human at some point intervention. You are the one sending them there. If they mess up, that's on you. Okay? So this is so hard. This is so difficult. This is so difficult because like there are obviously ethical questions here as to should military have autonomous weapons. The answer is probably not. Oh, and also here's another problem. Here's another problem. What if they get hacked? What if they get hacked? That seems like a tad bit of an issue, right? It's just a little bit of an issue. Considering our patterns, considering our history of lack of operational security to the point where we've allowed a ransomware attack to disrupt gasoline on the entire eastern seaboard, I'm not exactly comfortable with autonomous machines. I work in a law firm and just came across a patent that's coming out soon that had to do with geothermal energy production. I was torn. I want the technology to move forward, but not so that some company can just try to extract profits from it. Automatons have nothing to do in war, unless it's solely killing other military robots. I mean, yeah, like obviously, if you're just fighting robots against robots, it's like, okay, that's fine. There's no human life involved in that. Yeah, I get it. Spread it forward. Yeah. Yeah, gatekeeping the technology at such a crucial level is horrifying.
Part of this is they're going to say, look, it's inevitable. And there is some truth to that. They're going to say, well, if we don't develop it, China's going to develop it. And they probably will, right?
Yep.
And the Russians and us. You know, Wes Clark Jr. predicted this on the show.
Yeah, and again, if it becomes to the point where we're just fighting robot against robot, that's whatever, you know?
A long time ago on Old School.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, he said the Chinese are going to develop a swarm of drones to negate our aerial advantage. We have a giant aerial advantage, but they're going to send up thousands of drones into the sky and knock down our ships that way. Well, now here we are coming up with hundreds and thousands of drones to send in swarms, but now we've added the twist that you don't even need the humans. Let's automate it and turn them into autonomous killing machines, literally. And we're all acting like, oh, it's no big deal, it's normal.
This story barely even registered today. Like I came across it in a tweet and I was like, why isn't anyone talking about this? This is insane. And remember, everything that we do abroad ends up coming back to hurt Americans as well. We see it with our overwhelmingly militarized police force, and it's because we produce so much military weaponry that the Pentagon decides, oh, we've got too much in our inventory, we gotta get rid of some of this stuff, and they end up transferring it over to local police departments. So you don't think that this will be used against us? Which, by the way, even if there was some indication that it wouldn't, it's still wrong to do this, right? But I have no doubt in my mind that this will be used against American citizens too.
And I honestly had not thought of the police using it, but you are right, that will be inevitable. And they'll use it against us, the citizens.
Yeah.
And so, and then they'll start with, I guarantee it, and you'll see it later, a couple of years from now in a story.
Yeah, yeah, this also brings up those problems too. I didn't think about the hackers. Also, it's unclear who will be held accountable when things go wrong. They'll probably just blame the engineers, maybe. But who sent them there? You know, who gave the order? Like, in what was that movie? Ah, man, you can't handle the truth. What was that movie? I'm so glad I don't have kids. Our species is doomed. Well, not looking good. Yeah, it is an old one. Who gave the order? Wait, what was it? Who gave the code red? A few good men. Yes, thank you, chat. Yes, that's it. That's gonna be it right there. All right, so in I guess it's positive, right? This is positive. The Biden administration is approving the first large-scale offshore wind farm in the United States. As we were talking about earlier, this will provide 3,600 jobs for American workers, and it's one tiny step forward away from fossil fuels. Each one can power about 20,000 homes. More, I'm not sure, but it's this initial 62 will power about 400,000. Yeah, that's right, KTS. And I believe that a clean energy future is within our grasp in the United States. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland said in a conference call on Tuesday, describing describing the approval of the Vineyard Wind as a significant milestone in our efforts to build a clean and more equitable energy future while addressing the climate emergency. Yeah, so, I mean, again, this is a step in the right direction. So far, just 2 offshore pilot projects are operational, one off Rhode Island and the other off Virginia. Together, their 7 turbines produce 42 megawatts of electricity. The coming projects are far larger and have generated opposition from some coastal communities and commercial fishermen. Environmentalists have also raised concern about potential impact on fish, birds, and marine mammals, including the North Atlantic right whale, a critically endangered species that migrates through swaths of oceans designated for wind farm construction. Vineyard Wind is a joint venture of Avangrid Renewables, which is a U.S. offshoot of Spanish energy company Iberdrola and Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners out of Denmark. Europe's offshore wind industry is decades ahead of the United States, and European companies dominate the industry and its supply chain. Folks, that's decades ahead of us. Vineyard's wind construction is expected to begin later this year, along with work on offshore substations in Barnstable, Mass., where the cables from the turbines will reach land. More cabling and other work is expected next year, and construction on the turbine themselves is planned for 2023 and 2024. I mean, yes, there are some, they pointed out some valid concerns. So, yeah, this pilot program would allow us to judge the impact on the marine life. I don't think that necessarily the birds would be an issue, but maybe the marine life will. So I would say that this is a good start. The Vineyard Wind project has been more than a decade in the making. The first meetings to talk about possible locations for the wind farms were in 2009. Along the way, the project's size was reduced by 60% and turbines were spaced 1 nautical mile apart in response to concern from commercial fishers and others. Vineyard Wind developers have agreed to pay $37.7 million to commercial fishers in Massachusetts and Rhode Island to compensate them for future losses. Wait, how do you know that though? Okay. Looks like each of these wind turbines power about 8,000 homes each. Nice. So I suppose we can shift gears into this one. One in 4 cities cannot afford climate crisis protection measures. A survey of 800 cities around the world finds that 43% don't even have a plan to adapt to impacts of global heating. 1 in 4 cities around the world lack the money to protect themselves against the ravages of climate breakdown, even though more than 90% are facing serious risk. Cities are facing problems with flooding, overheating, water shortages, and damage to their infrastructure from extreme weather, which is growing more frequent as the climate changes. A survey of 800 cities carried out by the Carbon Disclosure Project found that last year 43% of them represent a combined population of 400 million did not have a plan to adapt to the climate crisis. Budgetary restraints were cited as the main reason, as the main key reason by about 25% of cities. Many are reliant on national governments for the funding needed to protect their infrastructure and vulnerable populations from these threats. The survey found that last year, 422 cities had 1,142 projects to adapt to the climate crisis yet to be financed, requiring about $72 billion in investment. The cost of water management projects alone that were yet to be financed was estimated at $22.6 billion. Kyra Appleby, the global director of CDP, said adaptation to the impacts of climate change is trickier to finance than emission action. There are enormous benefits from adaptation and resilience, but they don't appear on the balance sheet. Only a fraction of recovery spending from the coronavirus pandemic is being put towards climate change, and even less towards adaptation. Installing renewable energy generation, such as solar panels, can generate a financial return, and energy-efficient projects begin to save money quite quickly, but the benefits of adapting to the impacts of extreme weather are less obvious and often more diffuse. As well as reducing the risk of disaster and damage from the extreme weather, events such as flooding or drought, adapting and increasing resilience to climate breakdown carries many benefits to the public, including cleaner air and water. For instance, increasing or enhancing green spaces such as parks and other public amenities is one of the key ways for cities to adapt, and can also vastly improve public health and mental well-being. True. Places citing budgetary constraints as a barrier to adapting to the climate emergency, including South End, England, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Columbus in the US, and Columbus in the US. Appleby said it's a really varied mix of cities across the world that are experiencing this as a problem. He said the experience of the COVID-19 pandemic, when cities were deserted during lockdowns, has made people more aware of their vulnerability to shocks. It has opened many people's eyes to the issue of resilience and the huge interconnectedness of the planet. But this needs the support of national government, and cities need funding to become more resilient more resilient places in the long term. True. Businesses may provide another source of funding for some adaptation projects. 3/4 of cities surveyed by CDP were already working with businesses on sustainability issues or had plans to do so within the next 2 years. Appleby said some cities were adapting well to the climate crisis, including London, Bristol, Los Angeles, and Athens. The Greek capital is turning roofs green and planting trees to cool the overheated streets, while Bristol is constructing more than 10 miles of flood defenses. Jeez. Hey, it's starting to flood here. Every small storm and hurricanes are getting stronger and more frequent. Yeah, I guess we should lay more concrete and build more. Yeah. I can't wait till the Republicans start blaming the global climate change on the CCP and the Biden crime family. Oh my god. Alright. We gotta do it.
As I mentioned, we are not prepared to give that number now.
The election. The media is covering up. The media is covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. Give us our freedom. We want our freedom for the world. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The Biden crime family stealing the election. Give us our freedom. We want our freedom for the world. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The Biden crime family stealing the election. Give us our freedom. We want our freedom for the world.
You go, barbecue, beer, and freedom guy. Yes, so this kind of like, notice how he leans over to the side of he's speaking next to others who feel the same. True. I think that like the major takeaway from this article is it seems to me like we don't wait, what? Okay, this is so weird. It seems to me like the overall picture is that we're not page is unresponsive, exit page. Okay, that's fine. It seems to me like we as a whole, as humans across, yeah, exactly, except he's the only one there, across the world, from here to London to Brazil, don't have a complete grasp of the severity of the situation. That's what this tells me. That's what this tells me, because if like if there was like a grasp on the reality of things and how things are going, guaranteed that the majority of this, you know, would be different. The study would be different, right? We would have movements across the world attempting to prepare for climate change. So, I mean, we're not even at the stage where we're trying to like more or less mitigate, instead of like, you know, cut it off at the root by obviously stepping away from fossil fuels, so on and so forth. No, we're not even there. They haven't found a way to make it a business to turn a profit, but it 100% can be, though. I mean, like, I don't get it. If you really want to go down that route, it 100% can be. Didn't we have like PragerU do an entire video about the big green energy, the green billionaires? I mean, like, it is definitely a possibility for an industry. I don't get it. Like, that's not an excuse to me. Like, that's not an excuse to me. And like, there's jobs and there's savings over time, but it means divesting on whatever is generating the income. Oh, I see. And besides, like, this isn't up to like companies, right? Like, these are cities, like city governments, consciously making these decisions to not include it in the budget, or not putting that in the budget. So like, I think that there's some serious disconnect here that's going on, and it's making me further come to terms with the fact that like people don't really grasp the full picture of this, right? Because like, but see, the thing is, like, spread it forward, it's not just here, it's across the globe. And like, it seems to me like a problem that's happening across the globe. The news fails to bring reasonable experts, so the politicians don't even get the reasonable sources. To a degree, I believe that's true. The news cherry picks the best of the best scenarios. Yes, to a degree that's true, and I think that part of the issue here is that it's presented as a false dichotomy. Like, there's a debate here going on. There's a debate to be had about this, right? Yeah, true. Just looking at things through a capitalist lens. Yeah, I get that, but like, there's yeah, like throughout the entire world, we're seeing this as being a reoccurring problem. So I'm thinking like, wait a minute, there's a disconnect here where we're not seeing the full picture, because like there's conscious decisions being done here, or I guess lack thereof. Yeah, to Wing's point, there is a problem with the media sometimes muddying the waters, I'm sure, at the behest of oil companies, muddying the waters by presenting this as a debate, right? Presenting this as if there's two sides to this story, right? Yeah, that is another problem. And I think that the media is being irresponsible in that sense. Like, I know that usually, generally speaking, The Guardian and like a few other publications do pretty decent in terms of like climate change. But like in the talking heads, the pundits, they always present this as like a debate to be had, right? Especially back then, right? Like there was a while where this was just like, you know, they'd bring in like one person from one side and another person from the other side, giving the impression that, oh wait, hold on, there's there's conflict here. Like, you know, they're still trying to figure things out, when in reality, there's pretty overwhelming consensus as to what's happening. You know. All right, so meme news time. Meme news time. More than 100 Republicans' former officials seek reforms and threaten new party. Yeah, this is a great idea. This is a phenomenal idea. The group will call for the GOP to either reimagine a party dedicated to founding ideals or hasten the creation of such an alternative. Yeah, this is a great idea. I think this is a phenomenal idea. More than 100 influential Republicans plan to release a call for reforms within the GOP alongside a threat to form a new party if the change isn't forthcoming, a person familiar with the effort said. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a phenomenal idea. I believe that they should move in this direction. The statement set to be released Thursday involves a call for American renewal, the credo that declares that it is imperative to either reimagine a party dedicated to our founding ideals, I don't know what that means, or else hasten the creation of such an alternative. The push will include 13 yet to be revealed principles that the signatories want the GOP to embrace. This is not the first group to form, as the pro-Trump and traditional conservative factions of the Republican Party remain at loggerheads. The new effort comes as a vote looms to oust Liz Cheney of Wyoming from the number 3 House Republican leadership post for her refusal to stay silent about former President Trump's repeated election lies and his role in the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The move was supported by Reuters. The move was reported by Reuters, which cited some of the people involved: former New Jersey Governor Christine Whitman, the former administrator of the EPA, former Pennsylvania Governor Tom Ridge, the first Secretary of Homeland Security, former Transportation Secretary Mary Peters, and former GOP Representatives Charlie Dent, Barbara Comstock, Reed Ribble, Mickey Edwards, Evan McMullen, former CIA agent. Oof. A push to channel anti-Trump sentiment with the Never Trump movement in the spring of 2016 was largely unsuccessful at the time, and none of the people backing this latest efforts are serving as elected Republicans. However, it comes as Trump's pull within his party appears to have lessened. A recent NBC poll found that 44% of Republicans say they support Trump more than the GOP, compared to 50% who say they support the GOP more than the former president. As one of the organizers is Miles Taylor, a former Trump official who has anonymous wrote an op-ed in New York Times blasting the administration in 2018. Yes. This is good. And John Oliver did a good example where you had 99 scientists versus one scientist who doubts climate change. Right, exactly. That's my point. Is where they'll have like a panel and like a conversation, a debate about this. We're giving the GOP one last chance to get its act together and moderate, but we're not going to hold our breath, Taylor told NBC. We're ready to get out there and fight against the radical elements of the party to try to excise those elements from within the GOP and our national politics and try to invest in the deeper pro-democracy bench. I highly support this. It would be very good for the Democratic Party. True. Taylor suggested that the nascent movement will work to back candidates who support its principles, whether they are moderates or independents. Enough is enough, and the GOP has had enough time to decide whether it's going to separate itself from a man who's a chronic loser. He said, referring to Trump predicting a raging civil war with the rest of the party. Okay, stop this civil war stuff. Like, stop this, like, civil war rhetoric. It's nonsense. Nascent. Nascent. Gotcha. Hey, Memo. Yeah, I highly support this. In fact, I think they should just do another party. Do it. I think that it's a phenomenal idea. I really hope they go with the leopard party. Now hold on. Leopards are cool. I don't know. I highly support this idea, and I think that they should completely go through it. Just make a new party. Just make a new party. It makes total sense. Leopards are cool until they eat your face. Yeah, true. They're still like nice animals, alright? They're still beautiful animals. So you unironically can't make this up. Florida man jailed for punching fellow customer in mass dispute said DeSantis said we don't have to. It's almost like it's almost like what you say and how you say it like matters. It's almost like if you're a it's almost like if you're in a position of leadership and authority, like things that you say have an impact. Almost. Come on, Republicans, don't take no stuff. Do you? Exactly. Right? Do you? A 24-year-old Florida man named Nashad Potts allegedly punched a 28-year-old man named Eli Paz over a face mask dispute. Before allegedly punching Baez, Potts reportedly announced that Republican Florida Governor DeSantis said we don't have to wear masks. Sir, this is a Dairy Queen. The alleged incident occurred last Sunday while Baez was waiting for ice cream at Dairy Queen fast food restaurant in Key West. Potts reportedly became angry after a takeout window employee asked him to wear a mask. He freaked out and said DeSantis said we don't have to. Sir, it's a privately owned business. If you want ice cream, just put a mask on. True. Wait. What? Oh, this story just gets better. This story just keeps getting better. Oh god. I don't know, Jagged Jim. I don't know. This is a Florida story, okay? Baez said that before he knew it, Potts punched him in the mouth. Baez said he fell back and hit his head. The attack reported left him with a hole in his lip, a head injury, and short-term memory loss. Jesus. Potts told police that he was defending himself after Baez followed and harassed him. Police charged Potts with a felony charge of battery and booked him into Stock Island County Jail. On May 3rd, DeSantis signed new orders suspending all remaining local government COVID mandates and restrictions, including face mask requirements. The orders state that all such local restrictions that differ from statewide orders will be permanently invalidated. as of by July 1st. Yeah, so it turns out people in leadership positions do have a responsibility, and it turns out that you continuously saying, you know, stuff like everything's fine, whatever, you don't need masks, and then sign an executive order officially eliminating all mask mandates. Who would have thought that a story like this was inevitable, you know? Who would have thunk that a story like this was inevitable? Yeah, keep it classy. That's my point of this whole story, although bizarre and to a degree funny. At least that one particular part was funny, but yeah, calling people slurs, assaulting them over a mask is pretty yikes, okay? Pretty yikes, pretty cringe, and this guy's going to jail. The point being is that when leaders say something in an authoritative position, it has real life consequences, right? Is farting on somebody nonviolent, or would that be assault? I have no idea. Yeah, so if the government continues to perpetuate the fact that, you know, there's nothing wrong here, everything's fine, when it's not, people aren't gonna take it seriously. Conversely, here, let me bring this up. No. Conversely, here. Conversely, when a situation that wasn't that serious in terms of like how it affected Florida, he got out there, again, providing solutions to problems that didn't exist. Okay, he declared a state of emergency due to the Colonial Pipeline shutdown, which in reality, if it did affect Florida, it was mostly just northern Florida, and if people would have just kept their cool, we wouldn't have shortages. This shortage is caused by people unnecessarily freaking out over the cyber attack. Look at this. Yeah, it turns out if you declare a state of emergency because of an incident, people are going to freak out and perceive that there is an actual emergency. Okay, what you say and how you say it matters. I mean, can you imagine? So here's my point. Florida governor declares a state of emergency for this Colonial Pipeline shutdown. Imagine if he had taken that within 48 hours, I think. Within 48 hours. He declared a state of emergency, people took it seriously, and caused this, right? Can you imagine if within, like, that lightning speed response would have been done for COVID? Just think about that. Like, imagine if we had that lightning quick response for COVID, right? More than 1,000 gas stations in Southeast in the southeast are reported running out of fuel primarily because of what analysts say it's an unwarranted panic buying among drivers. Right. Don't panic buy gas, don't hoard gas, and don't form long lines. Please, have some consideration. The point being is, what you say and how you say it matters, okay? If you declare a state of emergency, people are going to think that something serious is going down and will react in that manner. If you would have done this as quickly and as severely for COVID, maybe we would have had a different outcome. We're going to massively increase NSA budget because of this, mark my words. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised necessarily. Again, this man providing solutions to problems that don't exist. House GOP, okay, so they did vote to expel Liz Cheney. So hey guys, congratulations to the Republican Party. They did the thing that they've been crying about for the past, what, 6 months or so? They did the thing that they were crying about for the past 6 months. House GOP expels Liz Cheney from leadership as she vows to continue to fight against Trump. House Republicans on Wednesday removed Liz Cheney from her party leadership. Exactly, cancel culture strikes again. They removed Liz Cheney from her party leadership after she urged the GOP to reject former President Trump. Cheney remained defiant, vowing to continue to fight against Trump. I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office. The party is in a place we've got to bring it back from. We cannot be dragged backwards by the very dangerous eye of a former president. Yeah, you know, there was a movement you can join, Liz Cheney, where they're trying to form another alternative party to the GOP, which I think that maybe Liz Cheney should spearhead. Nothing better than watch me who just like eat each other. Yeah, this is a let them. Okay, so just to be clear, this is a let them fight moment. Okay. At the top of the meetings, which began about 9 a.m. Eastern time, lasted roughly about 20 minutes. We cannot let former president drag us backwards and make us complicit in his efforts to unravel democracy. In a statement following GOP conference voice vote, Trump applauded Cheney's removal with a chain of personal insults against the Wyoming lawmaker. Jesus Christ. Oh man. This is ooh. Gaslight, obstruct, and project. Gaslight, obstruct, and project. Try to throw as much gas on that fire, but I have a cat on my lap, so that's nice. Aw, kitty. So to anybody who thinks that this isn't the party of Trump, I'll have you know they just expelled the top number 3 Republican for going against the dear leader. They effectively canceled the number 3 Republican for having a dissenting opinion, for having a dissenting voice. And they want to turn around and talk about free speech? They want to talk about cancel culture? What leg exactly do you have to stand on when you oust one of the top number 3 of your party for having a dissenting for having a for having a dissenting voice, for not wanting to reject the election results. Correct. That's really what the fight was about. And it even goes further than that. I think it's essentially going against the dear leader. That's at the core of it. That's the problem they have, right? That's the problem they have. We're going against the dear leader. Yeah, and the daughter of a former vice president. The showdown came after the top 2 Jesus. The showdown came days after the other top-ranking House Republicans, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and Minority Whip Steve Scalise, said they were through with Cheney as the GOP conference chair. They and Trump have endorsed Representative Elise Stefanik, a 4th-term New York Congresswoman who gained national attention in 2019 for forcefully defending Trump during. Yeah, so they want. I see. Yeah. See, like that's what I mean. At the core of it, it's just. At the core of it is she went against the dear leader, had a dissenting voice, and was silenced, was ousted from the party, from party leadership. Yeah, effectively. Mind you, there have been polls that are negative in terms of like Trump's approval, Trump's popularity, Trump's ability to deliver W's for the Republican Party that were hidden by the RNC. And it's like, so they know that this isn't even the right play politically. They know that technically the right play, politically speaking, is to move away from this as quickly as possible. But the push to swap staunchly conservative and politically deep-rooted Cheney with the less conservative Trump supporting Stefanik offers a stark example: the GOP shift towards a firm realignment behind the former president with the 2022 midterm congressional elections coming up. Cheney, one of just 10 Republicans who voted to impeach Trump on the charge of inciting the January 6th insurrection, survived a prior attempt in February to oust her. At that time, where the Wyoming Republican had the backing of her fellow House leaders. To their chagrin, Cheney, in the 3 months since, has continued to bash Trump for spreading the lie of the 2020 election was rigged against him. Some Republicans, including McCarthy and Scalise, have suggested Cheney's refusal to back down on Trump creates a distraction that hurts the GOP's goal of winning back the House in 2022. Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason. Seeing how these pieces are beginning to fall, because it doesn't make, like, politically speaking, it doesn't make sense to rally so hard behind Trump. I'm beginning to think about walking back my prediction that Trump is not going to run. I'm thinking of walking back my prediction that Trump is not going to run. Okay? Because it's very bizarre how all of this is playing out so fast. This may turn out to be setting the stage for this guy to run again. The election is over, and those who refuse to accept the rulings of our courts are at war with the Constitution. True. Alright, so the TLDR of this is like, yeah, they officially ousted her position as they took her position away as leadership for basically going against the dear leader. Like, at the core of it, that's what it was, right? That's what it was. You want to turn this country into a monarchy? Certainly not a democracy. Arizona Governor Ducey signs new law that will purge infrequent mail voters from state's ballots lists. Arizona will so this is just to pay attention, folks, because this is, I think, pretty much signed into law unless it gets disputed in courts, which I'm sure it will, but at this time, people need to be aware of what's happening here. Arizona will periodically remove infrequent mail voters from the state's ballot list after Republican Governor Doug Ducey signed legislation passed despite protests from Democrats and advocates who say that law is discriminatory and will make voting harder. The bill is simple. It's about election integrity. Was there like an issue with the voter rolls that caused the necessity for this? Because if you're claiming election integrity, where's the was there like a massive like issue with the voter rolls? Is that what it is? Because I'm pretty sure that it had nothing to do with voter registration rolls. The Senate bill passed its final Senate vote 16-14 along party lines. On Tuesday afternoon, it was signed almost immediately. The bill removes infrequent voters from the state's permanent early voting list, turning it into an active early voting list. So let me get this straight. You're addressing election integrity by what? Removing infrequent voters? Like, what does that have to do with election integrity? Arizona is the latest state to pass restrictive voting laws in the wake of the 2020 election. Last week, Ducey also signed a bill limiting when voters can fix a missing signature on a ballot. Huh. Wait. Are you... Wait. So this person, this Republican governor is trying to provide election integrity bills to protect the integrity of elections. but also is limiting when voters can fix a missing signature on a ballot. Wouldn't it be the opposite? If you care about election integrity, wouldn't the point be that you should have more opportunities to fix or confirm your signature on a ballot? That seems a little bit weird. Wouldn't the correct move, if you cared about election integrity, would be to wait a minute, why would you limit when you can fix a missing signature? Wouldn't it be the opposite? Wouldn't you want more opportunities for people to be like, oh yeah, this is me, or oh yeah, I need to sign this, or yeah, this is my signature? Like, wait, to make sure that that is you. It's like they say one thing and do the other. Oh yeah, that's right, Cheeto. Unbelievable. Trump said my whole family will be in government for 20 years. Ooh. Did he say that? Former President Trump's stolen election law has inspired hundreds of restricting voting bills in at least 47 states, according to the Brennan Center of Justice at New York University School of Law, a nonpartisan group tracking election legislation. Many of the bills target mail voting, which is championed by Democrats as a safe way to vote in a pandemic, while Trump falsely claimed it was rife with fraud. Right. So, like, if your objective is to like limit the fraud, why would you limit the time when you can fix it to make sure it isn't fraud? Because, like, guaranteed, if you give people the opportunity to fix signatures or stuff like that, like, it will cut down on fraud. I don't get it. It's like backwards. The mail voting bill failed. What? The mail voting bill. Oh, I think they just made a mistake here. The mail voting bill failed an earlier vote last month when one Republican lawmaker, State Senator Kelly Thompson, joined Democrats in voting no because the ongoing audit orchestrated by the Senate Republicans had not been completed, and she sought additional legislation. The audit is well behind schedule and could take another 6 weeks to complete as auditors look for proof of various conspiracy theories. But Townsend voted along with the Republicans and said she did so in good faith. Yikes. The bill fail. Yeah, so be wary of these bills that are passing, some of these bills under the guise of election integrity, when they have absolutely nothing to do with election integrity. And furthermore, if this is going to be the new law, and you live in Arizona, okay, and you live in Arizona, be wary and be watchful of the potential purges, right? Make sure that you are updated, that you keep an eye out to make sure that your name is still on these rolls before before these elections come up, so that you don't lose your ability to vote, right? Especially if you do early voting, especially if you do mail-in voting. Like, don't let these people stop you from voting, okay? Because that's the end goal. Don't let these people stop you from voting. If the law is that you will be removed for infrequently voting, check your rolls. Check it, okay? Check with your state website or whatever it is, depending on your state, to make sure that you are on those rolls and that you can vote early if you do that, if you're one of those people who do early voting. okay? Or if you're one of those people that do mail-in ballots, make sure that you check, because they are limiting the time that you can fix a missing signature, okay? Just make sure that if this is going to be the law, don't let them stop you from exercising your right to vote, okay? It's as simple as that. I would also like to point out that Republicans cry about bipartisanship all the time and how it's important for them and how we have to come together, and yet continuously pass legislation when they have the power. 16 to 14. That's a thin margin along party lines. This is yet another example of how bipartisanship works for them. When they are the ones in power, they do things along party lines. It turns out, generally speaking, that's what happens when a party is in power. So don't come to me about... And do you think that, like, the Republican Party here in Arizona advocated for bipartisanship when they passed this legislation? Just saying. This is a wake-up call to the Democratic Party at the federal level, okay? This is a wake-up call to the Democratic Party at the federal level. At this point, you have the majority. There are things that you can do to improve people's lives. Failing to do so is A, continuing to kick the can down the road further, and B, is going to lead to a disastrous midterms. To disastrous midterm results. Just saying. Politics, how lovely. Oh yeah, politics. So it should behoove the Democratic Party to take lessons from this. Okay? Because you best believe if the Republican Party had the House, the Senate, the presidency, this is exactly what they would be doing. Okay? Alright folks, quick break. I'll be right back. And a quick second to show for myself. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you hit that follow button, like the stream, subscribe to the YouTubes. We're trying to build that, up. Oh. Join our Discord. Do all that awesome stuff. As someone that hates everyone in power, I'm saying this now. Biden and Trump are... Yeah, well, I mean... One is slightly less poopy. But yes. But yes. That's true. So like the stream. Follow, subscribe to the YouTubes. Do all the awesome stuff. And if you want to support the channel, there are multiple ways. Subs, biddies, donos, merch. New merch is coming up. So I appreciate all of your guys' support. Thank you guys. You are what makes this show go. I appreciate all of you here. And spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we do Saturday Counter Days, where we have a chill and awesome time. So go follow, spread the word far and wide, do all that awesome stuff. I'll be right back. Thank you for the follow, Big Daddy King. Okay, so TLDR is this dude is signing a new law that has absolutely nothing to do with election integrity, and to again keep your eyes open. Make sure that you check your voting registration frequently if you're one of those people who like early voting. And it's also a lesson on the BS bipartisanship narrative. Alright. Meme time. So, let me preface this by saying that this is an opinion piece. I own a small business. This is what a 15 minimum wage means to me. After Biden required federal contractors to pay a 15 minimum wage in Rhode Island inch closer to its own state mandate, small business owners held their breath. Congress is likely again to consider hiking the federal minimum wage, now $7.25, affecting the public and private sectors alike. There's a popular mandate for a 15 minimum wage. So here's an admission that it's first of all popular. So yeah, good thing. So that's okay, good. Nearly 2/3 of Americans support the wage increase, including 40% who strongly back the proposal. Okay, cool. In Florida, voters passed an amendment last November to raise the minimum wage, now $8.56 to $15 in 2026. It moves to $10 in September. Okay. Relying on vague terms such as entrepreneurship and small government, individual liberty, Republicans are losing the messaging battle. Yeah, because what gives you more individual liberty than having the ability to pay for stuff at the base level, right? Yeah, nice meme. Wage hike opponents have repeatedly failed to conceptualize the real-world impact beyond the red meat talking points about a $15 mandatory minimum. Okay, so far so good. While most Americans support the move, most Americans also don't understand how small businesses work. Oh, hey, hold on. Wait. Here's where it starts to get good. Here's where it starts to get good. Okay? After all, how like condescending, how like presumptuous is this? It is, after all, the small business owner who will bear the cost of $15 minimum wage, not the Biden administration. As a small business owner, oh, here we are. Here are the numbers. I recently sought to hire an employee to answer phones for my Florida-based real estate firm. The hours would be 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. 3 people responded to my job posting. One was already making 15 on unemployment. Hold on. Wait. Press X to doubt? Press X to doubt? Hold on. Wait. Wait. Here we are, from the Florida website, from the stateofflorida.com. $275 per week for 12 weeks. You're entitled to a maximum benefit of $3,000, $3,300. Hold on, like this guy says he's like, oh, first of all, he has the audacity to have like this condescending term, like condescending tone, and then like blatantly just lies. And then blatantly just lies in the same sentence. Now, maybe he's adding like additional temporary federal benefits that are going on, because I'm sorry, this does not equal $15 an hour. And furthermore, it's not people swear like this is some kind of like permanent godsend that people just sit around and live off unemployment for like forever. They just sit there and live off unemployment. Okay, first of all, you have to get approved, right? Which is already a process in and of itself. Second of all, you have to continuously be looking for work, right? And third of all, companies can report that you to unemployment, that you were offered a job and refused it. And you know what happens? Your benefits get cut. You said that it would only be worth its time if I would pay $25 an hour. Yeah, cool. So negotiate that. Okay? Maybe you could have negotiated it to $20 an hour. Pay your... If you can't stomach a living wage, you shouldn't be in business. However, 25 is actually closer to 29 per hour when you factor in Social Security and taxes and other employment tax. I would also need to take into account paid vacation. Yeah, I know. You have to take into account your employees' benefits. Yeah, and health insurance. Yeah, I know. Wow, amazing. Wow. Poor small business owner has to factor in the paid vacation time and 401ks and health insurance for his employee. Average minimum wage is not enough to cover average lowest rent in the US. If you can't afford rent, how do you afford anything else? Yeah, that's true too. And is now big mad that people are demanding a more living wage. Others said, I can make more from home doing nothing. Yeah, so again, the idea that people are just hanging out at home. This idea that people are just hanging out at home doing nothing. Let's say the cost is only $15 an hour. Even then, I would end up paying more than $20 an hour per employee, with taxes and benefits taken into account. Then what about the indirect cost of hiring, such as providing an office space for supply, food, and beverage? Wait, I thought this guy knew what operating a business meant. Hey, buddy. Yo. Dude. My brother. My dude. Duderino. Do you know what these things are called? You know what these things are called? They're called the cost of doing business, bro. What? Wait. This is like beyond embarrassing. A business owner like is like fascinated. Like, oh yeah, well let's say let's say the cost is only about $15, and then I have to do things like provide an office space, which you have to do anyways, or supplying food and beverages. Oh, the horror! Like, they just don't get it. These plebs, they don't get it. In annual terms, a $20 all-in hourly minimum wage on the conservative side comes out to be $42,000 a year. Wow. It doesn't sound quite as manageable, right? Well, what do you mean? What? $42,000 a year? The average wage in 2019 was $51,916.27 cents. What are you talking about? It's not manageable. Maybe you can't manage it because you suck as a business owner. That's a you problem, buddy. That is a you problem, buddy. The average wage in the US in 2019, not 2020, was $51,916.27 cents. And you're complaining that $42,000 isn't manageable? Yikes, dude. Maybe you shouldn't be a business owner. You clearly don't understand how these things work. Holy crap. This is the most entitled, like, tone I've ever heard. Sorry, here. If you want to take even the average median wage, that's 34. You're not paying that much above that. 42 would be like an in-between the average wage and the average median wage. Unbelievable. Yeah, but see, he's crying. He's crying about it. Like, this person is unironically, like, crying to pay as low as possible. By complying with a 15 minimum wage, I would essentially be forced to compete with the federal government and artificially raise my business costs. Wait. That's not... Wait. Okay. Then explain to me how in almost 99% of cases, companies have been consistently raising the prices of their goods without raising a penny on their wages. Explain to me that one, Mr. Big Brain. Explain to me how companies consistently raise the prices of their goods. For the most part, I've seen the cost of goods continuously go up and wages stagnant. What about that? Yeah, I do. Even if the revenue stream isn't there to justify it. In my case, so again, this is completely and purely anecdotal. This person shouldn't be running a business. Guaranteed that this person will be out of business in less than 10 years because of like the gross level of like entitlement never leads to good leadership. In my case, I would be forced to do one thing: eliminate the financing position altogether and pass on the responsibility to my current team members, or automate the job by automating the phone process, the phone system. The search to fill the current job opening has gone for nearly a month, and I still haven't found anyone. Agents and my retired mother answer the phones instead. Oh, hey, yeah, why don't you answer the phones? Okay. On both employer and employee ends of the spectrum, it's a lose-lose for everyone involved. Nope. You're just big mad. Here, the only benefits, actually, wait, that's not even true. It's a win-win, actually. That part isn't even true. It's a win-win. Not only do employees get paid more, but the business, generally speaking, is way healthier and it generates more revenue when you actually pay your employees. Good. This guy is like running on like libertarian brainworms. If the position is passed on to other team members, those employees may become overburdened. Or pay people to do the... So you do need to do the job, you just don't want to pay a living wage. That's your gripe, isn't it? If it is automated, then the job is lost. Then you have the customer who may end up paying higher prices for the same level of service. Nope, that's not always true. Raising the minimum wage to 15, and here's a link. Here's a link to a previous article that said would have minimum impact on jobs. Of course, I'm not opposed to bearing high labor costs. Yeah, okay, sure. I'm successful because of my workers. Well, true. True. Human capital means everything to a small business owner. So, if it means everything, shouldn't you pay like it means everything? Huh. It's weird. But the economics of a $15 federal minimum wage simply don't work for small businesses like mine. And I'm not alone. If Congress moves ahead with the proposal, 1/3 of small businesses anticipate laying off workers. Press X to doubt. More than 1 million jobs may be at stake. Yeah, over the course of 5 years. Wait, over the course of 5 years. We lost 1 million jobs in the month of like September. Wait. We lost like more than that in the month of September. You're talking about a impact that happens over 5 years. So just to be clear, this guy's acting like you know, someone's gonna like snap their fingers and the 15 minimum wage is gonna be just done. Yeah, and here's like a whole bunch of like articles like debunking that. Oh yeah, Joseph Sempervino is the owner and manager of Joseph's Premier Real Estate in Vero Beach and is an adjunct professor of finance, business, and real estate and insurance at Indiana River State College. He's also the former State Economic Development Commissioner of New Mexico. Yikes. Wait. I saw someone did a calculation on what Bob Cratchit, who worked for Scrooge, and by today's standard, he was making more than minimum wage. Average wage today is lower than what Scrooge was paying. True. I'm just like going through some of their like website stuff, and they're like, dude, they sell homes for like 200,000, 500,000, 300,000. They're selling homes that are under construction. Yeah, something tells me that this dude is just big mad. Where can I buy a 300K house that's cheap? Here in Florida in certain areas, yeah. Like, but it's not like a house, probably like a townhouse maybe. I think he operates in like North Florida. The point being is like, this is an entitled person who refuses, who is kicking and screaming about paying their employees a semi-living wage. Unless you want to live in a really bad neighborhood. Yeah, I mean, depends on where you are. Oh yeah, I thought it was funny going over the rantings of one of the most entitled opinion pieces I've ever seen. Texas judge blocks NRA from declaring bankruptcy. A federal judge in Texas ruled Tuesday that the NRA cannot file for bankruptcy, a decision that calls into question the gun rights group planned to relocate its headquarters to escape oversight by New York regulators. Judge Harlan Hill's decision comes almost after 10 months after New York Attorney General Letitia James filed a lawsuit against the NRA accusing 4 of the organization's top executives of mismanaging funds and violating state and federal laws. The NRA does not get to dictate if and where it will answer for its actions, and our case will continue in the New York court. In January, the NRA filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protections from its staff, declaring its intent to reorganize and relocate to Texas. The NRA is based in Virginia, but has long been chartered as a nonprofit organization in New York State. Although we are disappointed in some aspects of the decision, there's no change in the overall direction of our association, its programs, or the Second Amendment advocacy. We remain an independent organization that can chart its own course even as we remain in New York to confront our adversaries. Lamau. In New York, the NRA's top officials are accused of squandering more than $64 million in organization funds in a span of 3 years. Senior leaders spent NRA money on trips to the Bahamas, private jets, luxury hotels, fine dining. Ooh, nice. Nice. Hale suggested in his ruling that he didn't believe the NRA had filed for bankruptcy solely for financial purposes. The question the court has faced is whether the existential threat facing the NRA is a type of threat that the bankruptcy code is meant to protect against. The court believes it is not. He also suggested that Lapierre and the NRA filed for bankruptcy only to escape James pending litigation. Hale noted that Lapierre filed bankruptcy documents without telling the NRA's governing board. Excluding so many people from the process of deciding to file for bankruptcy, including the vast majority of the board of directors, chief financial officer, and the general counsel, is nothing less than shocking. The record is unrefuted that Wayne LaPierre's personal expenses are made to look like business expenses. Nice. I remember seeing a Fox Business guy saying poor people shouldn't be asking for higher wages when 90% of them already own fridges. Not so fun fact, landlords actually own those fridges. Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean... It's just like out of touch. Entitled attitude. That's like saying like 97% of people own cell phones. And it's like, okay. What? "97% of people own cell phones, therefore, they don't need to ask for a raise in wages." Like, what? "99.9999999% of people own a t-shirt." Did you know that 99% of the working class own shoes? Why would they ever ask for a raise? Yeah, so it looks like the NRA is looking like it's gonna be in some muddy water here. And trying to escape responsibility by filing bankruptcy. Some slightly good news. Americans can begin to apply for $50 off their monthly internet bill on Wednesday as part of an emergency government program to keep people connected during the pandemic. The $3.2 billion program is part of the $900 billion December pandemic relief package. The government is increasing spending on broadband as the pandemic made stark that millions of Americans did not have access to and cannot afford broadband at a time when jobs, school, and healthcare was moving online. It's unclear how long the money will last, but it's expected to be several months. Tens of millions of people are eligible, although the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, which is administering the program, did not specify a number. I mean, that's kind of important though. For example, your household is eligible if you receive food stamps, have a child in the free or reduced price school lunch program, use Medicaid, or lost income during the pandemic and made $99,000 for single file or 198,000 for joint filers or less. Yeah, so if you're in need of one of these programs, they are available at this point. You can get the discount even if you owe your phone or cable company money. That's important because some people have been barred from low-cost plans offered by internet service providers when they owed their service provider money. And that's important because some people have been barred from low-cost plans offered by internet providers when they owed their service provider money. More than 800 cell phone and home internet companies are participating, including AT&T, Charter, Comcast, T-Mobile, and Verizon. People in tribal areas are eligible for up to $75 off their bill. There's also a $100 reimbursement for desktop computers, laptops, or tablets. In that case, you must pay between $10 and $50 of the cost of the device yourself and buy it through your broadband provider. The discount could apply to a household's whole bill, or you can use it to trade up to a more expensive offering if your bill is partly covered. The emergency broadband benefit is a more robust, although temporary program to help people afford internet than Lifeline, the FCC's other affordability program, which subtracts only $9.25 a month from phone or internet bill. Wait, what? That's it? A household can use both the Lifeline and EBB programs. The Biden administration has proposed $100 billion to get Americans connected, and even before that, billions of dollars are going to improve internet access. The FCC on Tuesday approved a $7.2 billion program for schools and libraries to connect students in their homes. The Treasury Department is also setting up a $10 billion fund for improving internet connectivity. The money for both came from the $1.9 trillion March pandemic relief package. There's also hundreds of billions more in general funds sent to states that could be spent on broadband access. Yeah, I think that this is good. I think at this point, it's safe to say that, Comcast make 10 more Fast and Furious movies. Well, no, this is to expand internet access to people. I think that at this point, it's pretty safe to say that internet broadband connection is basically a utility, right? At this point, it's basically a utility. Investment in infrastructure is usually worth it if done well. True. I agree. Investments in infrastructure is important. This is why I advocate for stuff like what Spread It Forward posted earlier, investing in wind, turbines that will create 3,600 American jobs and move us closer to attempting to get more green energy out there. Comcast needs money, the Fast and Furious. Gotcha. Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why we don't consider this a utility at this point, right? I think it's safe to say that this should just be considered as a utility at this point. Alright folks, it is about that time. Yeah, Comcast is a conglomerate, true. it is about that time. I do have to start getting my work PC up. I want to thank everybody for hanging out here today. Thank you guys so much. You guys are what makes this show grow. And I appreciate all of you guys being here. Please go follow AlioShare. Twitch.tv/AlioShare. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate that. Is it like this? Yeah. I want to thank Big Daddy, your goddamn dad, and Trima No for all the follows. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the channel, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you head on over to the YouTubes. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Do all that awesome stuff. It really does help us out. And of course, please spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're gonna start heading out here. Thank you for the shout out. No, thank you for being here. Spread it forward. Thank you so much. Darknet, thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all of you guys. And as always, stay safe. Take care of each other. I'll be on. I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya! Hello, hello, hello. I almost missed you. Wait, hold on. Hello. Hello. Hi. How are you? Thanks for the show. Take care. Thank you for being here. Oh man. Yeah, this is a hello, goodbye kind of deal. Lupe Fiasco, was that a Lupe Fiasco song? Oh, hello, goodbye. It's bittersweet. Oh man. Okay. Hold on. Wait, that's not how you do it. Here we are. I have to leave, but I love to watch you walk away. There you go. Before you guys go, make sure you follow Heat420_. Coming in at the last second. It doesn't matter. I still appreciate all of you guys hanging out here, okay? Even if it's at the last second, even if it's just with a few minutes to go, even if it's with 1 second to go, it doesn't matter. I appreciate it. No, thank you for hanging out. Okay. Oh man. Alright, okay, for real though. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Heat, for stopping by. 10 seconds till goodbye, yeah. But then Heat popped in, so we had to take a second. Okay? We had to take a second to thank you to thank them for being here, and and to give them a quick shout out. Okay, see, Heat 420, everybody. All right. Oh man. All right, folks. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you guys. Stay safe. Take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream for real, okay? Tomorrow, Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes, tomorrow, Thursday. You have a good day. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you. See ya. Alright. Stay with me, folks. Stay with me. Oh, hey, Lost Stew is streaming. We've never had a chance to raid them. I hope they're still streaming for a while. Let's go say hello to Lost Stew, alright? Be respectful, be awesome, show some love to Lost Stew. As always, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Thank you guys.